Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. You're watching Anime Dreams, the place where imagination rewrites destiny and fanfiction brings new legends to life. Today, we dive into a dark and powerful alternate storyline. What if Naruko joined the Akatsuki Empire? A world where loyalty changes, bonds break, and the future of the shinobi world takes a completely different turn. Before we begin, a quick disclaimer. The content on this channel is made for entertainment and discussion purposes only. I do not own any anime footage, music, or visuals used in the videos. Full rights and credits belong to their respective creators and copyright holders. Now, without wasting any more time, let's begin. The Third Great Ninja War had finally come to an end. No one truly remembered how the conflict had begun, but everyone would remember the sorrow it left behind. Konoha had survived, yet victory came with a heavy price. Many brave shinobi never returned home, while countless others carried sadness deep within their hearts. It was not only Konoha that suffered. Villages across the world, rain, sand, stone, and many more, had all lost precious friends and family. Even though peace had arrived, the world still felt quiet and heavy. In one corner of the Red Dragon restaurant sat a lone figure beneath the warm lantern lights. Outside, the village bustled softly as people tried to continue with their lives. Some mourned loved ones, while others searched for hope in the days ahead. The person sitting alone was none other than Minato Namikaze, the newly appointed fourth Hokage of Konoha. Minato's life had never been easy. He was born into the small Namikaze clan, a family known more for kindness than fame. His parents were loyal shinobi who gave their lives during the Second Great Ninja War, leaving Minato alone at a young age. Even so, Minato never allowed grief to harden his heart. He promised himself that he would become a shinobi who protected others, just as his parents once had. And above all else, he dreamed of becoming Hokage. As the years passed, Minato made many friends at the academy. Yet two people stood closer to him than anyone else: Kushina Uzumaki and Mikoto Uchiha. Kushina had been his loud and energetic childhood friend. At first, the two argued often, but after Minato rescued her from enemy shinobi, their bond became unbreakable. Still, the person who held the most special place in Minato's heart was Mikoto Uchiha. Mikoto was calm, thoughtful, and incredibly talented. She was one of the strongest students in their class and the heiress of the proud Uchiha clan. Yet despite her responsibilities, she treated everyone with kindness and respect. Minato could still remember the day they truly became friends. 10 years earlier, a young Minato stood alone at the academy training grounds, practicing his kunai throws beneath the evening sky. Again and again, the kunai missed their targets. "Try relaxing your hands a little," a gentle voice suggested nearby. Minato turned and saw Mikoto Uchiha watching him with a warm smile. Her long black hair swayed softly in the breeze, and her calm eyes carried quiet confidence. She wore a dark blue shirt with the Uchiha crest proudly displayed on the back. "Good evening, Mikoto," Minato greeted with a shy smile. "What are you doing here?" "I was helping one of the teachers finish paperwork," Mikoto explained. "I noticed you practicing and thought maybe I could help." Minato scratched the back of his head sheepishly. "I'd really appreciate that." Mikoto smiled brightly. "Then watch carefully." That evening marked the beginning of a wonderful friendship. Over time, Minato, Kushina, and Mikoto became inseparable companions. Together they trained, laughed, and encouraged one another to grow stronger. Eventually, they graduated at the top of their class and were placed on the same Junon team under the guidance of the legendary Jiraiya. As years passed, Minato's feelings for Mikoto quietly deepened. She had always supported him, believed in him, and stood beside him during both joyful and difficult times. Then came the war. The peaceful days disappeared as shinobi were sent to distant battlefields. Minato rose quickly through the ranks, earning respect across the village through his intelligence and courage. His teleportation technique, the Flying Thunder God Jutsu, became known throughout the nations. Yet even during his successes, Minato endured painful losses. One of his students, Obito Uchiha, had dreamed of becoming Hokage just like him. Obito's cheerful spirit reminded Minato that kindness was just as important as strength. Losing him left a deep ache in Minato's heart. Eventually, after the war ended, Minato was chosen as the fourth Hokage. He had finally achieved his dream. But there was still one thing he had never found the courage to say. As Minato sat quietly in the restaurant, lost in thought, a familiar voice interrupted him. "Why is the great fourth Hokage sitting all alone tonight?" Minato looked up and smiled immediately. "Mikoto." She stood beside the table with the same gentle warmth he had admired for years. Though time had made her an even stronger kunoichi, her caring nature had never changed. "Finally found time to visit me, Mikoto-sama?" Minato joked lightly. Mikoto placed a hand over her heart dramatically. "Oh dear, and here I thought my old friend missed me." Minato laughed softly and motioned for her to sit down. As Mikoto joined him, her smile faded slightly when she noticed the sadness in his eyes. "You've been carrying too much alone," she said gently. "Are you all right?" Minato sighed quietly. "We lost so many people," he admitted. "Sometimes it still feels unreal." Mikoto nodded sadly. "I know. But the people we lost would want us to keep moving forward. They believed in us." Her comforting words warmed Minato's heart. For a moment, silence settled between them. Then Minato gathered his courage. "Mikoto," he began carefully, "there's something important I want to tell you." Mikoto looked at him curiously. "What is it?" Minato smiled softly. "I care about you very deeply. You've always been there for me through everything. No matter what happened, you never stopped believing in me." Mikoto's eyes widened slightly. "You are one of the most important people in my life," Minato continued warmly. "And I think I've loved you for a very long time." For a moment, Mikoto simply stared at him in surprise. Then slowly, a gentle smile appeared on her face. "You really took your time saying it," she teased softly. Minato blinked in confusion. Mikoto laughed quietly before continuing. "Minato, I've loved you too." The worries in Minato's heart seemed to disappear all at once. Outside, the village still carried scars from the war. There was still sadness, healing, and many difficult days ahead. But in that small restaurant corner, hope quietly bloomed once again. And far away in the future, destiny would one day bless the village with a bright, cheerful little girl named Naruko, whose smile would bring light to everyone around her. "Do you think your father would agree to this, Mikoto?" Minato asked gently. Mikoto smiled as the evening breeze brushed through her hair. The lights of the village sparkled below them, making the hidden leaf look peaceful and warm. "My father has always wanted me to choose a path that would make me happy," she replied softly. "He may be surprised at first, but I believe he will understand." Minato let out a relieved sigh and laughed quietly. "That makes me feel a lot better." The two of them sat together on top of the Hokage monument for a while, watching the stars appear one by one in the night sky. It felt calm and comforting, as though the entire village was celebrating with them. Far away, inside a small apartment, Kushina was helping young Naruko organize a pile of scrolls that had somehow ended up all over the floor. "Naruko, how did all of these even get here?" Kushina asked with an amused smile. Naruko scratched the back of her head sheepishly. "I was looking for my favorite ramen recipe scroll." "You have 3 favorite ramen recipe scrolls." "That just means I have good taste," Naruko replied proudly. Kushina laughed warmly. Spending time with Naruko always brightened her day. The energetic little girl had a way of turning even the simplest moments into adventures. Just then, there was a knock at the door. Naruko hurried over and opened it with excitement. "Who is it?" Standing outside were Minato and Mikoto, both smiling brightly. "Minato-sensei." Naruko cheered before pausing and tilting her head curiously. "Why are you both blushing?" Mikoto covered her face slightly while Minato awkwardly looked away. Kushina folded her arms with a playful grin. Well, this already looks interesting. After a few moments of nervous silence, Minato finally spoke. Mikoto and I are getting married. For a heartbeat, the room was completely quiet. Then Naruko jumped into the air excitedly. That's amazing! She shouted happily. Does this mean we're having a celebration? Can there be ramen? Please tell me there will be ramen. Everyone burst into laughter. Of course there will be ramen, Mikoto answered kindly. Naruko beamed so brightly that it seemed impossible for anyone nearby not to smile too. Minato smiled gratefully. Thank you, Kushina. The room soon filled with cheerful conversation as they began discussing ideas for the future. Naruko eagerly suggested decorations, foods, and even games for the wedding celebration, though some of her ideas sounded more like festival attractions than wedding activities. At one point, she proudly declared, there should be a giant ramen tower in the middle of the party. That might be a little difficult, Mikoto said with a giggle. But it would be legendary, Naruko insisted. As the laughter continued, Minato quietly looked around the room. Seeing his closest friends smiling together made his heart feel lighter than ever. For that moment, everything felt peaceful. And under the gentle glow of the village lights, the future seemed full of happiness, friendship, and new beginnings. I think she will, Mikoto said softly. She loves me very much. Ever since my mother passed away, she has always taken care of me and Shisui. She is the reason the Uchiha clan is still respected throughout the village. I know there were tensions during the Second Shinobi War, but my father helped our clan believe that Konoha was our home too. She holds you in high regard. Most of the members of my clan deeply respect you because you have always treated every clan fairly and with kindness. I do not think there will be much resistance to this. Shisui can easily take my place and guide the clan one day. We may not be as large as we once were, but we will always remain loyal to the village. If I marry you, it will also strengthen the bond between our clan and Konoha. Naruko listened carefully, impressed by how thoughtfully Mikoto had explained everything. Wow, Naruko said with a bright smile. That was an amazing explanation, Mikoto. Maybe you should have become Hokage instead. Then I would not have to spend all day buried under paperwork. Mikoto laughed warmly. I would rather be a housewife and raise a happy family than spend my days doing boring reports. Thank you, but no thank you. Naruko sighed dramatically and placed a hand over her heart. At least I tried. The two shared a cheerful laugh before Mikoto's expression softened. Are you truly sure about this? She asked gently. Naruko nodded without hesitation. Yes. I have made up my mind. I want to marry you, and as the fourth Hokage of Konoha, I will proudly ask your father for permission. Mikoto smiled in a playful way that made Naruko suddenly nervous. You sound very confident, Mikoto teased. Naruko blinked. Why do I suddenly feel like I walked into a trap? She wondered quietly to herself as Mikoto's mischievous smile grew wider. Naruko Uzumaki Namikaze, the fourth Hokage of Konoha, was known across the shinobi world as the Golden Flash. Many enemies fled the moment they heard her name. Yet at this moment, she sat nervously in front of Mikoto's family. Around the room sat Mikoto, her father Kagami Uchiha, and her younger brother Shisui. Naruko sat politely with her hands resting on her knees while Kagami carefully studied her in silence. Finally, Kagami spoke. So, Hokage-sama, you wish to marry my daughter? Naruko straightened quickly. Please, Naruko is fine, Kagami-sama. And yes, I truly love Mikoto with all my heart. I want to spend my life with her. Her voice was calm and sincere, and her blue eyes showed complete honesty. Shisui smiled gently. Will you make Mikoto-ne happy, Naruko-sama? Naruko nodded immediately. I promise I will. Kagami then turned toward his daughter. His stern expression softened into the caring gaze of a loving father. And what about you, Mikito? Is this truly what you want? Yes, To-san, Mikito replied happily. I love Naruko, and I wish to spend my life with her. Please bless our future together. Kagami folded his arms thoughtfully. You understand that if you marry Naruko, you may no longer lead the clan directly, he said carefully. Such a marriage is uncommon. Are you willing to step away from that responsibility? Mikito answered without fear. I understand, To-san. But I believe Shisui will become a wonderful leader someday. No matter where I live, the Uchiha clan will always be my family. I will never turn my back on them. Kagami's serious expression finally melted into a proud smile. Then you have my blessing, he said warmly. I will speak with the clan and help them understand. However, there is one condition. Naruko listened carefully. What is it? If any of your children awaken the Sharingan, Kagami explained, they must also carry the Uchiha name alongside yours. They should understand the traditions of our clan and remain connected to their family. We would never force our ideals upon them, but we hope they will always respect where they come from. Naruko thought carefully before nodding. I agree, she said kindly. But I have one condition as well. Our children must always be free to follow their own dreams. No one should ever force them into a path they do not wish to take. Kagami smiled proudly at her answer. You truly care about family, he said. That is exactly the kind of person I hoped Mikito would choose. Shisui grinned brightly. I already know I am going to spoil my future nieces and nephews. Everyone laughed warmly at that. Mikito felt her heart fill with happiness as she looked at Naruko. She was proud of the woman she loved. Naruko cared deeply not only about the village, but also about family, kindness, and the future of their children. As Mikito imagined a cheerful little blonde girl running through their home laughing happily, her heart grew warm. She and Naruko would build a home filled with love, laughter, and kindness. Together, they would become wonderful mothers and give their children a joyful childhood surrounded by family and friendship. And deep inside, Mikito knew that all her dreams were finally beginning to come true. Dear YouTube family, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content. Thank you for your support. Regards, Anime Dreams.